So let's talk about that for a second. Jay, Macky, you guys go against each other. Give me the scouting report on each other. What's it like when you go against each other? Macky, why don't you start?
Jason's very strong. He's got long arms, and he uses them to his advantage, and he's quick off the ball. So you can't jump him because he's too quick, so he'll swim you or get past you. And then if you set too long on him, he's going to use those long arms to push it back. But he's a good deep tackle. So you got to be perfect every time you go up against him.
All right, Jay, what about Macky?
Macky, he's a perfectionist when it comes to technique. Macky, he's very quick, so you know that my quickness, he can overshadow that in a heartbeat. You know, he doesn't have long arms, but he uses his strength to his advantage to pull you in and keep you close, and uses footwork, you know, to make sure that he puts his body in great positions to get you out of position.
Right here, fine.
Dan Tortora, DTB Media. For Jay first, but for both of you, what's it like being here now? I mean, Big East throughout your careers, you're both veterans. Now you're here in the ACC. What's the welcoming been like?
Oh man, I guess we're looking at it. So it's been very, warming. A lot of different people talking to us and asking us about, what we expect to get out of this conference. It's just a great feeling to be welcomed like that, because we look forward to the challenge of the ACC and all the teams in it.
I mean, it's been a very warm welcome. I'm actually surprised at how warm it's been because, we're the new kids on the block, as I've been saying, and it's been a lot of fun kind of being here, getting to know guys, and these guys have known each other for what seems like years, and we're kind of just jumping into it, but they've all accepted us with open arms. The media has treated us very well, and so far it's been a good experience for us.
Now, Macky, you have Syracuse in your blood. So is it a little strange now to be talking about Syracuse being in the ACC?
I mean, it is weird because I remember when Syracuse was like Big East and the Big East, but the Big East used to have Miami and Virginia Tech and Boston College. When those teams came to this conference, it was just I guess a matter of time before Syracuse ended up following the footsteps.
Jeff Gravely, WRL in Raleigh. We'll stay with Macky and then go to Jay. Does it really matter to players what conference you play in, and have you guys done any historical research on what this league is all about?
It does matter, I think, to a point. You're going to play high quality opponents every time you play an ACC opponent. You have the ACC, the SEC, Pac-12, and those are your top tier conferences. So every time you play a team from those conferences, they're used to playing high quality teams. So you can't sleep on any team that you play, no matter what their record is. It does make it something where you have to prepare for an ACC opponent every week. That's going to be something that we're going to have to get used to. But at the same time, I think we're ready for the challenge.
Jay?
The major difference is, the competition. The competition that you see each and every week. You have to prepare each and every week like it's 1 week at a time, like it's the first game of the season, like everything's on the line, because these conference games mean everything. We go from the Big East where if we're all tied, we share the conference title. We come to a conference where we're all tied. We play for championship games. So that's a much bigger difference than the Big East. So, I mean, we look forward to it, and the ACC is much bigger than the Big East at this point in time. And we just accept the challenge of all the great teams and the great tradition that the Clemsons and the Florida States bring to it. And we just look forward to, being a part of it.
Jamie Riggs, News 14, Carolina, Time Warner Cable. Can you guys speak about the difference that you'll see with speed on the field, you guys getting the conference play compared to what you were seeing in the Big East all these years?
Jay, please go first.
Skill positions. That is the biggest difference between the two conferences. Looking at one team, let's go with Clemson, I guess. Sammy Watkins, Taj Boyd, those skill positions are something that, and all the other receivers that they have, those are the differences between the Big East and the ACC. And the running backs, everything. The game is played a lot faster in the ACC, I feel like, when Big East was more downhill running with running backs and things of that nature. So you have to adjust to that, but keep your physical mentality so that you can compete at a high level.
Macky, you want to talk about that?
Certainly something. I mean, I haven't seen enough film on ACC teams to make a real, true opinion about it where I would be truly educated. But just from what I've seen on TV, you know, they have a lot of speed in the ACC, and it's something that in the Big East, you just can't compare it because it is different. You know, you have teams like Florida State, you have teams like Clemson, you have teams like NC State, North Carolina, Georgia Tech. All these teams have speed up and down the field, and so you got to account for that on every play. It's just something that you got to take into account for, and when we scout them, we're gonna have to make sure we know what we're doing versus all that team speed.
Hey Jay, Macky, Mark Larson, Wine TV back here. Nice to see you guys down here. Can you both talk about how you kind of went out in the Big East? You were underdogs for years in the Big East. You went out kind of on top, and you'll be even bigger underdogs in the ACC, and how much you're looking forward to this first season, you know, kind of making a statement that Syracuse belongs here.
Macky, why don't you start this one?
Okay, I think that just making a good first impression to the ACC is really important to us. You know, I think making this transition from the Big East to the ACC is going to be something where it's going to be foreign to us. You know, not like we've ever moved conferences before, but we're going to go out there and just play our best football and let everyone know that we can compete in a conference like this. And you know, we're looking forward to the opportunity and the challenge.
The competition level is great in the ACC. So as a true competitor, you look forward to things like this. You look forward to going against some of the top tier programs in the nation and having your chance to prove the world wrong or everyone else wrong, that you can do more than compete but beat these programs. So I think that's what I look forward to most. I know my teammates do. Just the competition aspect, opportunity.
Nico Tamarine, CNY Central. We'll start with Jay, then we'll go to Macky. Kind of along the lines of Mark's question here. Syracuse, obviously, coming into this league, we know how much tradition there is, but Syracuse has such a great tradition of its own. How important is it to you guys to come into this league and show everybody the history and tradition that Syracuse has and how prestigious your program really is?
It's important for us because a lot of people may not know a lot about Syracuse. You know, from the Big East, the number 44 was, you know, widely recognized by every single school. You know, they know about the tradition of Syracuse, you know, and the number 44 and the great players that play here. In the ACC, it might be a little foreign to certain schools, maybe not Miami, you know, Virginia Tech, schools that play the same conference as Syracuse before, but, you know, it's only right that, you know, we try to show other schools our tradition and make sure that when they come to the Dome, that they know that they're coming to, you know, a story, you know, a place. And that we have a lot behind us with the people and, you know, the history.
Yeah, like I said, it's just something where we want to go out there and compete every day. We want people to understand what Syracuse is all about. And that's something we've kind of been saying this whole ACC kickoff is we want people to understand that Syracuse is a team that is going to be blue collar, intense. We're going to fight you to the death, and we're going to go down and, you know, we're going to just try and grind every team that we play down with hard work. And that's kind of been the Syracuse way ever since I can remember. You know, there have been times where you go up against teams that aren't as talented as you are, and you just outwork them, and that's how you win. And you know, that's the way Syracuse is, and that's kind of something that we've been trying to get people to know about us while we've been here.
For ACC fans who don't know, what's the atmosphere like in the Carrier Dome? Jay, start with you on game day. What's the Carrier Dome like?
Oh, man. I mean, it starts off as, you know, you're warming up, you know, it's probably a little cold in there because it's probably cold outside.
That's something ACC players might not be used to.
Yeah, you know, that's our little advantage we got in the Dome. But, yeah, just warming up, trying to get your body warm. You know, you see the fans, you know, sprinkling in at a time. It's amazing because, like, you come out for, like, a warm-up with the team, and then when you go back in and come out for the game, it's a totally different place. You hear the fans roaring. You know, we come out with the smoke. You run through the field. It's a great experience, man. It's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to do it. And we love our fans because, you know, they show us a lot of support.
I think it's the word to use is electrifying. You know, you go out there, you look around, you run out of the tunnel, you're on the field, and you see nothing but orange in the stadium. You know, you look around, you got 3 levels of orange everywhere. And it's not a very big place. It holds about 51,000 people. But it's very close quarters, and that dome makes it extra loud. So when you get to 3rd and long, you're not hearing yourself think. You know, you can feel it in your chest when people are yelling, jingling their keys, making all types of noise. It's one of the louder places I've ever been to, and it's our home stadium. It's just one of those advantages that we can have. Especially now, I think the city of Syracuse is very excited about this move, the ACC.
One thing we haven't touched on is a new head coach. I know he was your coordinator before, but tell me about Scott Shafer, and how perhaps he's changed as a coach now that he's the head coach.
Scott Shafer, he's a great coach, man. He just he instills in us everything that he represents. His confidence, his enthusiasm. He makes sure that he wants the best for us and he gets the best out of us. Because that's what he preached as a DC to us. Our confidence on defense was over anything that people could imagine, because he told us that, to be the best, you got to believe you're the best. And that's what we thought. We went out there to prove everybody wrong. We didn't want anybody to score points, but when they did, he never got down on us. He always kept faith in us to go out there and finish the job. And now he's not just instilling that in the defense, he's doing it as a team. And we're seeing that the offense swag is different. Their confidence is different. As far as the defense, we continue to add to that. As far as we get more veterans on the team. So it's just a beautiful thing.
Mac, are you feeling that on offense?
Yeah. Coach Shafer, I've known him as a defensive coordinator for a long time, but now that he's our head coach, he's kind of dialed down his intensity just a little bit. And he's letting the coordinators do their job and to coordinate, both the defense and the offense. I think that's a real big thing for us as an offense, because Coach Shafer is a defensive guy, and we know that. But at the same time, he was a quarterback at Baldwin Wallace, and so you can't let that go by either. He does have some offensive blood in him. But he lets Coach McDonald and Coach Bullitt do their job. He doesn't interfere that much at all. So he just lets us go, and he lets us be as intense as a team as we can be. And I think that's kind of our motto. That's why he uses that hard-nosed term. That hard-nosed term is that blue-collar, intense, just non-stop kind of guy who's going to go out there and give everything he's got every time, just like Coach Shafer.
I want to squeeze in one more question for you, Mackey, before we go.
Yeah.
I think I've seen you tweet a lot about soccer. At what point did you realize the EPL might not be in your future, maybe American football as a lineman?
Man, soccer was the first sport I played when I was a kid. Probably by age 4. When you're about a head and shoulder taller than every other kid, and you're about 50 pounds heavier, I think soccer's not in your future, but it's okay. I just like watching it.
Fair enough. MacPherson